we're going to be talking about the spray can holders and stain holders that I'm making for my workbench. Basically, I have a 12 by 16 shop and it's very small, so I have to make the best of all my storage options that I can, and I typically don't buy things that I don't need, which I guess is good for any situation, but especially for a smaller workshop. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make, let me just show you. So just a couple measurements just to show you a little bit on how wide it is. So the bench is right at 28.5 inches wide. So the shelving is 25 3/4. I probably could have maybe squeezed in a little bit closer, but I was going for it to be uniform, so I really didn't have enough space to fit another can, only because I couldn't have got them any tighter. I guess if you wanted to, you could probably not have the space here, and you could just kind of do the shapes and just run it all together so they kind of just sit in there. I don't guess you need the circles, but I kind of just like that. I like the way it looked. Yeah, so let me show you how it screws in here. I didn't use any glue only because I'm not 100% sure that that's what I want to end up doing. This is the design that I want to end up going with. So just pocket holes. You can see I messed up right here. I measured incorrectly because you can see it screws into 2x4s. So I just had the pocket hole a little too far forward. So I've just got two pocket hole screws there, and it's extremely sturdy. So this is just 3/4 plywood. It's just whatever I had left over. I think this is actually the maple veneer that you can get from Lowe's or Home Depot. But it looks really good, and as you can see, I just took the router and went around the edge just to soften it up a little bit. I'm gonna eventually paint the whole workbench, but for right now I'm just kind of getting it where it's functional. For the spray can holders, I did it a little differently, and I've seen it done where folks put like a little piece of wood or like a small catch right here for the can to rest on. I really tried to keep this as simple as possible, so I didn't want a lot of extra things screwed into the bench. Only, like I said before, I wasn't 100% sure. Still am not 100% sure this is what I want. So I just kept it very minimal. So what happens is you stack a can in, and then if you want to put a can down here, you have to raise this can up. So just like that, and then they sit in there. Pretty simple, not a lot to it, but it does what it needs to. So no specific angle here. I just have them tilted enough to where the can squeeze in through the top. Because if you see here, the hole is much bigger than the can, which gives you room to slide it in there, and then you can still get it out through the top. The big thing to remember, if you decide to do something similar, is that you want this shelf to be far enough down so that you don't bump into the top of your tabletop. And then again, for the bottom, if you see, it's right up against the back, but the next shelf down has a little bit more of a steeper angle than the top, and that is because when I made it, I didn't account for the width of this top piece. So you have to angle it down more so that you can get the can in. You know, looking back, I probably should have just taken this piece and mounted it further forward of this 2x4, and that would take up that need to angle it more steeply. Or I could have just made it a wider piece here, but I wanted it to look uniform. And then of course, same thing. You just take pocket holes and mount it to the 2x4. Nothing too fancy, but it definitely gets the job done. So that is the storage on the ends of my workbench. I'll have plans in the link below.